Well, I'm curious about the operational logistics of the run. Can you give us an overview of some of the things you had to take into consideration and what that means for each of the communities as you go into them?
Well, there's a lot of difficulties running 24 hours a day, and safety is also an issue. As we saw with the mini run, North America is not incredibly difficult to run 24 hours, and you have a safe route. But you need a vehicle with the runners, and you need to make sure that the area is safe to be through at night. So those are some issues we're looking at right now. Yes?
I don't know how to ask this question. Because you go to running to different countries, each country may require a visa or something like that. Do you have any kind of thing to do?
Oh yeah, that's something we'll look for when we really nail down the exact route.
Yes.
We haven't at this point locked down anything with those countries or set up visas.
Yeah, because if you apply for a visa, maybe it takes a while.
Yeah. Yes.
What are you doing about transportation, accommodation, meals, all those kinds of operational things?
Well, we've drafted a very rough budget so far, and at this point we don't have everything brought together, but that would be all accommodated by sponsorship dollars, and that's where that would go, is transportation for the runners between the countries.
Yeah.
And
have you started lining up sponsors?
yes, that's Parveen's her area right now.
Oh,
And she has on the website right now a lot of sponsorship opportunities. So, yes.
Are there healthcare providers that will accompany the runners, like massage therapists and?
That's something we'd have to work out with the runners. That all depends on the specific runner, how they prefer to do it. I'm not in that community yet. I don't know a lot about the specifics of running and how they perform at the highest level. So that would be up to them to bring to us, what they need to perform such an amazing feat, really.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm not sure who I should be aiming this question at.
I'll take it.
But you can take it. This kind of huge initiative, it sort of reminds me of an Olympic scale project, and they normally take years to plan ahead. Do you think your 2015 deadline is ambitious? Do you think it's achievable, or do you think we're going to take a deep breath and say we're going to do it?
Yes, it is ambitious.
Yes,
it is ambitious. Yes, I think they're sort of standing on the shoulders of giants, that terminology, where the mini run was done for the concept, to prove that the runners could do the 24-hour relay. They did go into some schools and begin talking, but again, that's Canada and US, which is our cultures, right? So I think we need to set dates only because that we have some targets to work towards. Again, tomorrow we're doing the retreat with this team and the runners. We're connecting with Dave and Linda Major as the conduit for all of the runners, and Malcolm for the conduit to the chief advisor into the advisors. So we're trying to draft a plan of what that might look like. If we have to revise the date, I think it's been revised a couple of times already, but we're trying to go very specifically after corporate sponsors and partnerships, which is very different than donations, because the donations will come in through the initiatives after we get into the countries, after we get into the cities or communities.
I'm having a little bit of difficulty getting my mind around the concept that you have 8 core runners traveling approximately 24,000 miles over the course of 200 days. What's your expectation for distance for each of those runners on any given day?
Logistics. This is
Yeah.
logistics.
It's a lot, and that's something we're going to have to bring up with the runners, because every runner that we have on our team has run well over 100 marathons. So for that to be comprehended by a non-runner is difficult. And I mean, they've all signed up for this, and we are going to have likely some areas where we have, you know, local celebrity runners that will probably have to take over for these people. And if there's any injuries, that is another concern. So, but as far as we know, the runners believe that they can do this, and I mean, they're very experienced, and you know, I think they can.
I think we're taking it in a global context as participants on site. There might be a leg that a community or a country has, additional runners. Like we do have people coming in from India. We do have people coming in from Australia that are on the team, but not on this core runner team that's continuing around the world. So they might just be for their country. The other is we're trying to think of it in a more open-ended way, that it can be run, walk, bike, rollerblade, skateboard, road, like something that is getting you moving. So that was my point in getting you all out of your chairs and getting you moving.
So
You
it's
all
not-
were starting to participate.
It's not literally around the world, but rather what would be the distance of the Earth's circumference as an example.
Yeah.
It actually runs around the world, but in different, so you're flying obviously across the Pacific, and then there's a jaunt in New Zealand, and then it's a jaunt. So it does circumnavigate the world
Okay,
into the various areas.
thank you.
New words.
Yeah.
Just proud of that.
I kind of have a very tough question.
Good.
I think if this runner runs 6 months,
No, it's only supposed to be.
yeah, keep running for 7 months.
7 months.
Yeah.
Yes, 7 months.
How about their job? Do they want to kind of stop their job
Yes.
before the running? All of them?
Yes.
They're actually very excited
Yes,
about the whole
that's it.
idea.
We just say yes.
They're incredible people.
Wow.
Like, you know, the bios, who these people are willing to do this is absolutely remarkable. So to already take that, I think there's a lot of great things to build this project from. You have incredible people willing to sacrifice a big portion of their life
That's true.
to make this work. So you have, you know, guts, although that doesn't seem like a lot, that's a lot. To go and say we want to do this from scratch and go and find these people around the world, that might take years in itself. So that part is already a really good,
Yeah,
you know,
that's good
beginning
stuff.
point, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.